Day 2 of the OTAs in the books. We actually got some on the field stuff to talk about, some Mike McDaniel things, some things here and there, and all that good stuff. Let's jump into it. What is up, Finn fans? Like I said, day 2 in the books. Got some on the field stuff, cool things here and there. We're going to jump right into this. Your orange jersey of the day is Storm Duck, which is pretty cool for him to get it, which is also pretty cool for the corners to get it, because we all know how I feel about the corners. Yesterday, Isaiah Johnson, I think it was, let me double check, had an interception. I'm going to show it to you, and everyone obviously is yeah, Isaiah Johnson. Let me give you the bigger picture. This is from yesterday, and you could tell it wasn't Tua. So everyone relax. I could already tell. You could already see people in the comment section being like, "Who threw that? Was it Tua? Oh, that was a duck of a throw." Da 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 da. No, it wasn't Tua. But Isaiah Johnson getting an interception. Also from yesterday that I wasn't able to report on, or it came out later in the day. Our guy, Teron Armstead, was at practice yesterday. Now, I honestly think, because you could see he's just hanging out. Also, he didn't officially retire. He's still technically a Dolphin. He likes to mentor the young guys, right? He likes to, do his thing and help them out. We talked about it when I was able to have a conversation with him, which I thought was pretty cool. But he was there. Is he going to retire? Probably not. Who wasn't there today? This is from Marcel Louis-Jacques. He said, we saw the Dolphins OTA practice today. Good attendance overall. Didn't see Sealer, Jonnu Smith, James Daniels, or Jalen Ramsey. Remember, they are voluntary. Tyreek Hill was present but ran routes on air without a ball while team did 11-on-11 drills. So Tyreek Hill was there. Again, we're going to hear from Tyreek Hill. He was doing his things, blah, blah, blah. But Sealer, Jonnu, and James Daniels not being there, it's voluntary. It's OTAs, people. Let's pump the brakes. But here are some things that happened. This is from Barry Jackson. Notes and observation from Wednesday's OTAs, the first of 5 practices that will be open to the reporters over the next 15 days before the team adjourns for time off. So we get 5 of them. 5 of them that are open, which means I'll be able to give you play-by-plays. So Cam Smith, the former second-round pick, was smoked by Jalen Waddle on a 60-yard touchdown, then grabbed his quad at the end of the play. He was limping noticeably, left briefly, and then returned. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Again, we are super, 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 super thin at corner. We don't have really any starters. Smith has been battling injuries, yada, yada. But nice 60-yard touchdown from Tua to Jalen Waddle, which is awesome to hear. Austin Jackson, coming off knee injury last November, was working at right tackle, an encouraging sign. The one remaining healthy question on the offensive line will be whether new guard James Daniels, off of a week 4 torn Achilles, will be ready for training camp. I don't see why he wouldn't be, especially because it was week 4. Receiver Tyreek Hill came off two off-season wrist procedures, was training on his own, doing 7-on-7 work, also doing juggling drills with Devon Achane that clearly showed he doesn't have a good mastery of the hand yet. That's not good. Hill was right wrist is heavily taped. Whose right wrist is heavily taped, will be ready for camp, his agent Drew Rosenhaus said. So the juggling drill, I think it means the jug machine, but we'll see. Tua completed a 30-yard pass to Jalen Waddle, who had 2 30-plus yard catches and who was the most important receiver working with Tua on Wednesday. Waddle did his damage against Cam, Storm Duck, and Ethan Bonner. Waddle and Bradley Chubb were arguably the top performers on Wednesday. I told you guys, I do this every year. There's an area of the team that makes me uneasy, that makes me nervous, and I bring it up, I bring it to your attention. So I'm like, I don't really like the way this is doing its thing, and blah 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 blah. And then I get told to calm down. It's not that big of a deal. Stop this, stop that, blah blah blah. Hope I'm wrong. Hope I'm wrong. Chubb, who hasn't played in a game in 17 months, sacked new number 2 quarterback Zach Wilson twice, including once while being blocked by Ryan Hayes. He's rounding into form after a major knee injury. I'm hearing he had a huge day. Him and Chubb and Chop. Chop. Second-year edge player Chop Robinson had a good day, including at least one sack. Duck, one of several players competing for a bigger job after the release of Kendall Fuller and the inevitable forthcoming trade of Jalen Ramsey, wore the orange jersey today. Edge player Jalen Phillips and cornerback Ethan Bonner wore it yesterday. There were some growing pains for rookie second-round pick Jonah. Matt Dickerson beat him for a sack. See, he hasn't signed his rookie contract yet, but he is there. He's not holding out like Stewart from the Cincinnati Bengals. He is there and he is working. Receiver Taj Washington, the 2024 7th-round pick, was in a red non-contact jersey from his injuries last season. Tight end Tanner Connor, whose season ended up prematurely last year due to injury, had a nice reception from 2 and 7 on 7 drills. Isaiah Johnson was in coverage. Veteran Jonnu Smith wasn't working Wednesday, so there were plenty of opportunities for the other tight ends. Besides Smith and Ramsey, who's no longer around the team, defensive lineman Steeler was not spotted. Veteran running back Alexander Madison, signed in March, had a nice run after a catch from Zach Wilson on an outlet pass that could have run for a touchdown if the play hadn't been stopped. Linebacker Willie Gay Jr. was victimized in the coverage on that play. A lot of the stuff you're going to hear, take it with a grain of salt. They're not in pads. They're not going to be running the ball. There's no tackling. There's no real physicality to this. It's like playing flag football. So don't look too far into this. Running back Ollie Gordon III had a good speed and showed an ability to turn the corner on outside runs. Wilson completed a pass to D. Estridge, who made a nice one-handed catch with the cornerback Kendall Sherfield in coverage, but Wilson also threw 2 poor passes. Safety Elijah Campbell stripped running back Jalen Wright on a carry. Jalen Phillips, off of last September's knee injury, didn't participate in teamwork, but has been involved in practice, McDaniel said. Grayson Murphy, the former UCLA edge rusher who missed his rookie season last year due to injury, had a nice pressure on number 4 quarterback Brett Gabbert, flushing him out of the pocket. So that is a little bit of tidbits of information from today's OTAs. This is some of the presser stuff from Mike McDaniel on the culture. He says, you don't fix something by bitching about it and complaining about it. You fix it by actions. It's going to be interesting what he means by that and how he goes further with that. He also said this, and I'm going to read it for you word for word, and you can translate it below for me if you want. On the relationship with Jalen Ramsey, he says, it's quite irresponsible to put down some of the thoughts and focus of the players that were working now to build a performance for the season and concern myself with that. I'll say it one more time. It's quite irresponsible to put down some of the thoughts and focus on the players that were working now to build a performance for the season and concern myself with that. I'm assuming he's essentially saying, like, I'm more focused on the people that we have, and it's irresponsible to not. What? That was my initial thought. Omar Kelly says a very physical practice today. Jalen Waddle was the star of the show. Bradley Chubb had 2 sacks. Tyreek Hill says he feels a lot better now than he did last year. Says he's glad he and the team decided on surgery because he initially skeptical about it. I want to show you something. Hold on. Caught you, Omar. Busted. Look at him. Put the phone away. He's recording it, obviously. But I just find it funny because I was reading it and I looked over. I was like, hey, there's Omar. I'm hoping I can improve. I can prove to my teammates that I'm still one of those, Tyreek Hill said. Um, yeah, it's a lot. We'll see how things go this season. That's all I'm going to say. Tyreek Hill said he's down to 183, was 197 when he first joined the Dolphins, lost some weight. He says, I have to prove myself. I have to show up. The mindset has to be different. Tyreek Hill says, he also says he's recovering well from the wrist surgery. He had issue with both wrists, but mainly the right one, has protective brace on it, which you can see right here. I think that was the one that we saw the picture of him getting the pins taken out of. Hill says he was hesitant to get surgery, but happy he did. He says he has a lot to prove and is aiming at 2K yards again. So that is your OTAs. That is your day 2 OTAs. Again, it's nice to hear things. It's nice to hear, Tua and Waddle connecting on, multiple deep passes and Tua doing his thing. It's not good to hear about Cam Smith and his hamstring injury, because it's always something with him. No offense. It's good to hear about Bradley Chubb, 2 sacks, getting back into form. Very excited about that. But it's OTAs. I'm not really going to worry about it. Training camp a little bit more, because training camps can be different, especially when the pads are on and we get to see different things and different aspects of the game. Right now, it's essentially flag football. Like I said, they have their helmet on, but they're wearing shorts and jerseys, and some have long sleeves on and all that stuff. So there's not much to look into it, but we're getting there, right? You're starting to get the feel of football, and they're starting to, practice, and things are starting to happen. So it's exciting. And I like hearing it. I don't like hearing certain things, but again, I'm not going to look too far into it, because it's OTAs, like the cornerback issue, and then the multiple sacks, and then, certain things. I'm not going to look too far into it. It's OTAs. We'll see how it develops and continues. But comment below. Let me know what you think. What are your biggest things you took away from today's OTAs? No OTAs tomorrow. I think I'm going to have a video for you guys tomorrow regardless. And then there's OTAs on Friday. So I will see you tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy. FN's out.